I just got picked up for my first job as an indie composer in under 5 hours to prove that it's not luck and you can do it too. So part of what I do is I help gamers become composers and create professional quality music and release that on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, everywhere. And that's because I know how to create and release professional quality music. I also know how to get gigs. I also know how to work with a team. So I was like, well, let me just show these guys how easy it is to go get a job. And so I did just that. Now, transparently, the job could have been paid. I did not take pay to make sure it was a yes. Transparently, the job required me to just make one track. And I was like, hey, not only will I make a track, but I'll make a whole series of videos, which, by the way, will be coming out in a little bit, where I'm going to document the entire process and tell you a little bit more about the game. So I gave away so much. But the headline is that I made the developer an offer that was so good that he would feel stupid to say no to it. And stupid's kind of a harsh word, and I don't think you've probably ever heard me use that word before. But I use it because it has this power to it, where it can be used as an insult. It can be used as a strong thing to imply that someone's really not thinking something through. And whenever I want to get something from anyone, or I want to have something happen, what I want to do is I want to set things up so that they want to say yes to making the thing happen that I want to have happen. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to talk and walk you through the steps that I took to make this happen, and then you can do it for yourself. So I based all this on the principle of the Rule of 100, which is a rule from 𝐼𝐚𝐬𝐬𝐼𝐻. He is a businessman and business influencer who talks about how when you're trying to make something happen for yourself, you need to take so much action that the thing that you want to have happen kind of has to happen. You can't control outcomes. The only things you can control are your body, what you focus on, and then the meaning you give to things that happen in your language. So I can't control what other people do, and I can't control the outcome of situations, but I can influence statistically the outcome of those situations by taking so much action that it's very likely that the outcome that I want to have happen occurs. So what did I do? Well, I went on to Reddit, and on Reddit, I wanted to create a job post. I went to create the job post, and what happened was I got auto moderators telling me that I did not have enough of something called, I don't even know what the name of it was. What's the name of the thing called? What is it? Karma. They were telling me I didn't have enough karma to post the thing that I wanted to post. I said, okay, how do I get karma? By the way, I've got other things I could be doing with my day other than being on Reddit and earning karma. Like, I've got a business to run, I've got a book to write, I've got a fiance to, tell her she's pretty all day, like whatever you do with a fiance, that stuff. And transparently, being on Reddit for a couple hours is not usually what productivity looks like for me. So I'm like, all right, how do I earn karma? So I go and I literally chat GPT'd, how do I make karma right now? And it was like, okay, you find these open threads where people post and you've got to comment something that's going to be funny or relevant that other people will like. And when other people upvote those comments, then you'll get karma. I was like, got it. So I went to this giant thing called Ask Reddit, and someone posted a post, which I'm not going to show you because it got deleted by the moderators, and for good reason. And on that post, I said several things that were funny, in my opinion, and in other people's opinions too. In fact, I wrote not just one funny thing, I wrote about 6 or 7 funny things on 6 or 7 posts. So I didn't just do one thing and expect it to happen. I took so much action that it would be statistically improbable that I didn't get my outcome. You following me? Right. So after about, let's say 15, 20 minutes, I'd had enough people karma me. I don't know what the words are. I had enough people give me karma, good karma, that I had enough that I could then go post where I wanted to post. Now, here's the thing. Before I posted and before I went to earn the karma, I actually went through this awesome forum called INAT, for I Need a Team, where a bunch of indie developers hang out and post if they are for hire or if they need people. It's called a classified. It's where you find people to work together. And I had already responded to one or two people in there, and I'd actually pitched one person about working with them on their game. And while I'm waiting for all this to happen, I went and found the person's Discord who I'd pitched and went in. So by the way, it's like I'm not just following one track here, right? I'm going, okay, how do I get it so I can post a classified, right? I'm taking all the actions there. Now, okay, let's say I can't post a classified and it's going to take me like 3 weeks. What am I going to do right now? So it's like I'm finding other people. So I'm taking so much action in different ways to get the thing that I want. So what's the thing that I want? I want to show you that it just takes a couple hours to get your first gig for creating music, your first job. So you can get your foot in the door, you can get a credit, you can build that into more credits. And yeah, you might have to work for free for a little while, but guess what? That's the price of doing what you want to do, oftentimes. So hop into this awesome server called INAT, I Need a Team. And I responded to this one thing, and I'm not going to show you just yet because this is not officially the first whole part of me making this, but within like 3 hours of making this post, I was then in contact with the lead developer of this indie game, and within, 15 minutes of being in contact, I had landed myself my first job of creating, an OST. So you might be saying, well, Dan, that's easy enough for you. I bet you could promise something I couldn't promise. And you know what? You're right. I did promise a lot of things you can't promise. For example, if you don't have subscribers that are like over 100,000 on your channel, you can't go to someone and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to make a video where I'm going to talk about this on an over 100,000 subscriber channel. You feel me? If you're like, well, I haven't created professional music yet. I have, and I've got a whole bunch of links to it. In fact, on my website, Music Mentor Dan, literally there's a thing called projects where it's all the projects I've ever made going back to when I was 16 years old, right? And then on top of that, I've got videos on this channel where I actually sat down and created compositions based off of being inspired by other OSTs, which had documented. So I got to show all of that. But the point is, the reason why I was able to show that is because before I took all of this action, I took all of that action. And why did I take all of that action? Well, I took all of that action so it would be statistically likely that I would actually get my outcome if I ever wanted to do something like this. And here I am doing something like this, just to prove that you can do it too. So what happened is I hopped in with a fellow who shall remain nameless for now. And we go through, we talk about it. Now, my first opening pitch to them, which I really want to show you, is played the demo, super fun, cool if I send over a rough demo track inspired by the gameplay in a bit. So I'm not even asking for anything. The only thing I'm asking for is, hey, is it okay if I make you music for free right now and send it to you? I'm not saying, can I have more details? I'm not saying, how is this going to work for me? I'm not saying, so what can you pay me? I'm none of that. I'm saying, how can I make this work for you right now? How can I solve your problem right now, asking nothing in return? Now, it turns out there was a whole thing, which I'm not going to show you, where they wanted to do this whole thing where it's like, okay, you can submit a piece and there's a vote. It was a whole complex system. But I was like, I totally respect your selection process, giving artists a chance to be heard and letting community vote. That's both fair and empowering. Right? How you're building a creative village, not just dev team. That's rare. Now, here's where I took it to the next level. I was like, here's a wild thought. Would you be open to me creating just one track outside the vote process, where I document the full behind-the-scenes process on my YouTube channel? It wouldn't cost you anything, just the opportunity to be part of the project. And by the way, guys, this is not like a major AAA thing, right? It's like a game, it's got a demo out, I played the demo, cool, great. It was fun. I had fun. I had fun playing the demo. I was like, great, this will work. I'll treat it as if I was hired. I'm going to commit. I'm going to show up 100%. Except instead of money, my payment is getting to tell your story to 114,000 subscribers who already love video game music. That is an incredible offer. Now, if you're saying, well, Dan, I can't make that exact offer. No, you can't. You might have 115,000. At 113,000, you haven't lived my life, so you can't make my offers, right? You haven't written the books I've written. So you see where I'm going with this? It's like, maybe that's your first step right now, is becoming that person who can send this message. If you're not there yet. right? Instead of saying, well, damn, this is easy for you to do and all this, like, okay, or you could just go take so much action and create so much music and release so many demos and get them to professional quality that you are just undeniable in your music, and that when you send a message like this, people will be like, oh my gosh, yes, please come work with me. Right? I go on to say, obviously you'll have total creative control and I'll be here to serve your vision. Right? So this is important because I'm bringing a machine gun to a knife fight, so to speak, in terms of the amount of like proof and whatnot that I'm throwing down right now. It's really important that I reframe it, not that I'm a diva and you've got to serve me, but here's all the proof. This is just how much I can help you, and I'm here to serve you. I'm not making it about me. I'm telling them about me, but I'm telling them about me in the context of how I can help them. And the answer was, yes, dude, absolutely yes. So yeah, you can't make this offer, but you can make a different offer. So the question is, what offer are you going to make? And how much action are you going to take to make the thing that you want to have happen in music happen? I know what I'm willing to do to make my dreams come true. What are you willing to do to make your dreams come true? I had this conversation with my fiance the other night. My fiance and our relationship coach. Say a relationship coach, what's that? There's a thing called Gottman relationship things. It's a whole proven thing. It's science-based to help you improve relationships. And I love having coaches in anything I want to get better at. So yeah, I've got a relationship coach. And yeah, I meet with them once a week with my fiance. Even if there's no problems going on, still meet with the coach every week. Just like the same way you have the stretching coach for the New York Yankees, shows up to every game. It doesn't matter if the player's so flexible. You still have the pitching coach, you still have the batting coach, you still have the stretching coach. You still show up to keep things at a high level. Anyway, so we were talking about getting outcomes. And I was like, I will do everything within my power that is short of anything that is illegal, right? That's where I draw the line, is illegal things. But I will do everything up to that line in order to make the vision that I have for how I'm going to help people in music happen, how I'm going to help my family happen. And that is what I'm willing to do. So if you show up and you're looking at your Reddit screen and you're going, I don't think I want to do this. Like, let me put this differently to you. If looking at a Reddit screen and talking to someone and taking the step of saying, hey, I think I'm going to be able to help you out, and not making it about you, making it about them, if doing all that seems like too much, then I don't believe right now you want it that bad. Because if you really wanted it, you would do whatever it takes. If we look at a hyperbolic example, hyperbolic means like extreme, like exaggerated. If we look at a hyperbolic example, if someone had kidnapped my mother and said, the only way I'm going to let her free is if you get someone to agree to allow you to write a piece of music for their OST, and you're going to have a Steam credit in the next 5 hours, or, you'll never see your mother again. What would I do? And I would do something along the lines of what I did today. Except I don't need that situation to happen. Right? I don't need someone to kidnap my mother. I just need to know what the thing it is that I want, and then any other voice, because through this whole process, I'm getting voices in my head going, whispering doubts in my ear through this whole process. But I don't listen to those voices. I just take action anyway. And when we take action anyway, that's when the magic happens. That's when you actually get the result. Like, I was at a business conference, yesterday, and an amazing fellow who got me into the conference last minute because, transparently, I messed up my ticket. But yeah, shout out to Jonathan at Pete DuPont Freedom Foundation. Awesome guy. He was like, so what are your plans for this weekend? And I was like, well, I'm probably going to be writing my book. He looked at me a little confused. He was like, oh, like, You get to pick the rules that you live your life by, right? And maybe 10 years from now, I'm going to have a different set of rules. But right now, I don't have that set of rules. Right now, my set of rules is every day I'm taking a step toward my goal. And I'm actively avoiding things that would take me away from my goal. So I wanted to make this video to show you that you can get hired as a composer in like under 5 hours. And I didn't even take 100 actions. I took like 40 actions, right? And when we think of the rule of 100, we're thinking of doing like 2 or 3 rules of 100 per day. I didn't even have to do one, and I got my outcome. But that's the same way I approached guitar. When I was in college, I was practicing guitar for 8 to 12 hours a day. I saw classes as a distraction and a nuisance that were a necessary evil that I would go into school for, because it was taking me away from the thing that I was focused on, which was practicing the guitar. So what do you want? Alex 𝐉𝐸𝐲 said this in a lot of his videos, and I think I'm going to start saying it too, because when he was talking to me. And right now I'm talking to you, and you'll know who you are. That fire you feel inside of you, even if it makes other people feel uncomfortable, and even if it's uncomfortable at first, stoke that fire, turn it up to 100, and live your life the way that you want to live. There are no rules, right? There's only consequences. And you get to pick what consequences you're going to have. And there's no such thing as the right choice or the wrong choice. You only decide which consequence you would prefer. And with that, I look forward to sharing with you updates and actually jump into the DAW and show you the process of me going through and creating this. Looks like I'm going to be doing, right now I've committed to doing 1 track for the OST, which you'll understand a little bit more once you understand more about the game, why it would just be 1 track. And we'll see where it goes from there. So, yeah. See you in the next one.